now copyright LSO and Jesus da Silva, better known simply as Dida, is a Brazilian football goalkeeper who plays for Campeonato Brasileiro Série A copyright RIA squad Sport Club Internacional. He first rose to prominence in Brazilian club football in the 1990s with EC Vitória, Cruzeiro EC and SC Corinthians, where he gained a reputation as a penalty-saving specialist. He is probably best remembered for his successful and often tumultuous 10-year stint with Italian Serie A club AC Milan from 2000 to 2010. During his tenure with the Rossoneri, he became equally known for mistakes as well as excellent gameplay, from a notorious error during a UEFA Champions League match against Leeds United in September 2000, to suffering a lengthy decline in form after being hit with a litre flare in a Champions League quarter-final match against crosstown rival Inter Milan in April 2005, in addition a run-in with an opposing fan during an October 2007 match against Celtic. One of only 3 goalkeepers in Milan history to make over 200 Serie A appearances, Dida also won the Champions League twice in 2003 and 2007, with the former coming after he saved 3 penalties in a shootout against Juventus FC. He is also the first 2-time winner of the FIFA Club World Cup, the inaugural winner of the FIF Pro Goalkeeper of the Year award, and a 5-time nominee of the IFFHS World's Best Goalkeeper award. In 2003, Dida became the first Brazilian keeper to be shortlisted for the Ballon d'Or, with a second nomination in 2005. On the international level, Dida earned 91 caps in 11 years for the Brazilian national team, including the most appearances in FIFA Confederations Cup history. He notably broke a color barrier by becoming the first Afro-Brazilian goalkeeper to start for the Celia Picavolta Poundo since Musa Barbosa in the 1950 FIFA World Cup, following his international debut in July 1995. Dida won the 2002 World Cup with Brazil without playing a game, and was the starter in 2006, conceding only twice in 5 matches. He retired from international play after Brazil were eliminated in the quarter-finals. Early life and club career: though he was born in Arara, Bahia, Dida was raised in the smaller northern state of Alagoas. His footballing role models were goalkeepers Valdir Perez and Renato Save, whom he watched on television during the 1982 World Cup. A Flamengo fan, he helped form an amateur team called Flamenguinho at 13, which was composed of other boys from his neighborhood. His professional club career began in 1990 with Alagoas team Cruzeiro de Arapiraca. 2 years later, he signed with hometown club Vitória and won the BA State Championship in his first season. In 1993, Dida made 24 starts for Vitória after winning the Under-21 FIFA World Youth Championship as Brazil's first choice. Dida was acquired by Cruzeiro EC in 1994, where, in a span of 5 seasons, he won 4 Minas Gerais state titles, the 1996 Copa do Brasil, and the 1997 Copa Libertadores, along with a pair of Placar Bola de Prata awards as the top goalkeeper in the Campeonato Brasileiro Série A copyright RIA. But with this success soon came a desire to ply his trade in Europe, and in January 1999, he decided to leave Cruzeiro in order to sign with AC Milan. Milan equals 2000 Euro 2003 equals Dida's request to opt out of the remainder of his contract with Cruzeiro in order to sign with Milan kicked off a dispute with the club that lasted for 5 months, during which he suited up for Switzerland club FC Lugano to keep in game shape. But when the issue was finally resolved and Dida formally joined the Rossoneri, he was third on coach Alberto Zaccheroni's depth chart behind Cristiano Abbiati and Sebastiano Rossi, and Milan therefore loaned Dida to SC Corinthians in an attempt to get him some regular playing time. His reputation as a penalty saver first came to the fore after he saved 2 spot kicks a Euro, both taken by Raw Euro in Corinthians' 3-2 victory over intrastate rival Sao Paulo FC in the 1999 Campeonato Brasileiro semi-final resulted in the headline "Dida is God" from Brazilian sports publication Lance. In the inaugural FIFA World Club Championship in 2000, Dida saved a Nicolas Anelka penalty in a 2-2 draw with Real Madrid, and in the final against Vasco da Gama, Corinthians won the title in a €4-3 penalty shootout after Edmundo's shot went wide. Milan recalled Dida for the 2000-01 season, and he leapfrogged past Rossi into the starting 11 since Abbiati was away with Italy at the 2000 Summer Olympics. A €1 Champions League group stage win over Besiktas on September 13, 2000 marked his official debut for the club, but on September 19, in the 89th minute against Leeds United at a rain-soaked Elland Road, he accidentally dropped a Lipo wire shot into his own goal, causing Milan to lose the match 1-0. His explanation afterward was that since the ball was slippery from the rain, he attempted to absorb the force of the shot then catch hold of it, but it dropped into a puddle and bounced into goal. Despite keeping a clean sheet in Milan's 2-0 win over FC Barcelona 1 week later, he was promptly benched following Abbiati's return. He additionally made his first and only Serie A start that season in a 2-0 November loss to Parma. Meanwhile, Dida was among nearly a dozen Serie A players who were implicated in a scandal involving fraudulent European passports. In October 2000, it was reported that he had registered in Italy as an EU player with a Portuguese passport, which was discovered to be false following a routine check by Milan, who then promptly re-registered him as a non-EU player. UEFA declined to take any action and instead handed the case over to FIGC, who fined Milan £314,000, and banned Dida from the league for 1 year, in addition to a FIFA-imposed year-long suspension from national team play. On April 3, 2003, following a court appearance in Milan, he was given a 7-month suspended prison sentence. Milan sent Dida back to Corinthians for 2001-02 following the passport flap, then recalled him for the next season, which he began on the bench until Abbiati limped off with a hip injury at half-time of a Champions League qualifying stage match against FC Slovan Liberec on August 14, 2002. Dida took his place for the second half and turned in a solid performance that saw him promoted to Milan's first choice. 2003-2006 Dida soon wrote his name into Milan history after the 2003 Champions League final at Old Trafford against league rivals Juventus, which had ended goalless after extra time. He saved penalties from David Trezeguet, Marcelo Zalaeta, and Paulo Montero as Milan won the shootout 3-2, and the ensuing praise poured in from his home country in addition to the Italian media. He was labelled Saint Dida by the Brazilian press, while Folha de S. Paulo chipped in with the headline Dida pushes Milan to the top of Europe. In 2003, he became the first Brazilian keeper to be nominated for the Ballon d'Or, which was won by Juventus rival Pavel Nedved. Dida was nominated for the Serie A Goalkeeper of the Year award after conceding only 20 goals in 32 appearances during Milan's 2003-04 Scudetto winning season. Though Milan were eliminated in the quarter-finals, one highlight of their 2003-04 Champions League run was during a group stage match against AFC Ajax on September 16, 2003, in which Dida blocked a Rafael van der Vaart point-blank range shot with less than a minute remaining in extra time to preserve Milan's 1-0 victory. On April 12, 2005, with Milan leading 1-0 in the second leg of the Champions League quarter-final derby against crosstown rival Inter Milan, a second-half Esteban Cambiasso goal was nullified by referee Marcus Merck, due to the fact that he had just whistled into forward Julio Cruz for a foul on Dida in the 6-yard box. Bottles and various debris were subsequently thrown by Inter ultras onto the pitch, and the projectiles soon escalated to lit flares. As Dida attempted to clear debris from his penalty area in order to take a goal kick, a flare hurled from the upper deck struck him on his right shoulder, and Merck halted the match in the 74th minute. After a 30-minute delay in which firefighters were called in to remove the burning flares from the pitch, the match was restarted. Dida, however, was unable to continue, and was substituted by Abbiati. Less than a minute later, Merck permanently abandoned the match after more flares and debris rained down. The match was awarded as a 3-0 victory, totaling a 5-0 aggregate, to Milan. Dida suffered bruising and first-degree burns to his shoulder, but did not miss any game time, as he was back for Milan's next league match on April 17 against AC Siena. Inter were fined just over €200,000, the largest fine ever imposed by UEFA, and were ordered to play their first 2005 Euro 06 Champions League home matches behind closed doors as punishment. Dida's form began to decline thereafter, as he struggled in the semi-finals against PSV Eindhoven and in the 2005 Centiliters final loss to Liverpool, in which Milan blew a 3-0 half-time lead in a span of 6 minutes early in the second half, and the match ended 3-3 after extra time. Dida was only able to save John Rice's penalty as Liverpool triumphed 3-2 in the ensuing shootout. He had set a Champions League record for consecutive clean sheets with 7, which was surpassed by Arsenal's Jens Lehmann the next season. Dida's rough patch continued as he slogged through a mistake-riddled 2005 Euro 06 season, leading to Brazil coach Carlos Alberto Pereira declaring that his starting position for the upcoming World Cup was not secure. Though Milan's drive to return to the 2006 Champions League final fell short after a 1-0 semi-final aggregate loss to Barcelona, that series began a revival of his form with stops against Ronaldinho, Samuel Eto'o and Henrik Larsson over the course of both legs. 2006 Euro 2008 Dida got off to a strong start in 2006 Euro 07. Following a strike by Lazio's Stephen McKinwar in Milan's 2 Euro 1 season opener victory on September 10, he did not allow a Serie A goal for the next 446 minutes of play, and he conceded only 2 goals in 5 of Milan's 6 Champions League group stage matches. He made his 200th appearance for Milan in a 1-0 defeat to Ascoli Calcio on September 20, and on January 28, 2007, he played his 150th career Serie A match in a 1-0 win over Parma. On March 10, Dida also signed a 3-year contract extension that kept him at Milan until June 2010. However, 2006 Euro 07 represented the first injury-plagued season of his career, and he missed 11 Serie A matches due to knee and shoulder problems. He had missed 10 league games in the previous 3 seasons combined. His play had consequently suffered again by the start of 2007, and he was racked with inconsistency throughout the second half of the season. Dida was heavily criticized after conceding twice from Daniel van Buiten in the Champions League quarter-final first leg against Bayern Munich, which ended in a 2-2 tie. He then turned in a man-of-the-match performance in the second leg as Milan shut out Bayern 2-0 and advanced to the semi-finals against Manchester United, where he again received criticism after blunders on Cristiano Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney goals in Milan's 3-2 loss. Once again, Dida bounced back in the second leg, keeping another clean sheet in Milan's 3-0 second leg victory. He maintained his second leg form into the CL final rematch with Liverpool on May 23, where he exorcised his Istanbul ghosts with 3 saves from Jermaine Pennant, Steven Gerrard, and Peter Crouch as Milan won 2-1 and raised its 7th Champions League trophy. On October 3, 2007, during Milan's CL group stage match against Celtic FC in Glasgow, Celtic striker Scott McDonald scored the match winner in the 90th minute to seal a 2-1 victory. As McDonald and his teammates celebrated near the corner flag, 27-year-old Celtic fan Robert McKendry entered the pitch and tapped Dida on the shoulder as he ran past the Milan penalty area. Dida attempted to give chase, but after a few steps he suddenly collapsed to the ground, holding the side of his face. He was stretchered off the pitch and substituted. Although McKendry later turned himself into police and was given a lifetime ban from Celtic Park, Dida was charged by UEFA with breaching rules upholding loyalty, integrity and sportsmanship, as it was deemed that his injury was feigned. He was consequently punished with a 2-match suspension, which Milan promptly appealed. Dida never publicly commented on the incident, but prior to Milan's first home game since the Celtic match, against Empoli FC on October 21, he offered a gesture of apology to the fans by pausing to bow to each section of the crowd during warm-ups, and received a round of applause in response. The next day, UEFA reduced his ban to 1 match, and he sat out Milan's for a Euro-1 victory over FC Shakhtar Donetsk on October 24. On November 19, Dida joined teammates Cafu, Kaká, Ronaldo and Paolo Maldini for the fifth annual match against Poverty in Malaga, Spain, but he missed Milan's group stage rematch against Celtic on December 4 due to illness. That same month, he became the first two-time winner of the FIFA Club World Cup after Milan defeated Boca Juniors. With his participation, he had also set a Club World Cup record with 6 appearances, a mark that lasted until the next year when Al Ahly players Wael Gomer and Mohamed Abouchka both earned their 7th caps in a 1-0 loss to Adelaide United on December 18, 2008. Ongoing injury problems and sustained poor form limited Dida to just 13 league matches in 2007-08. The death knell of his campaign came in the first derby of the year against Internazionale on December 23, in which he inexplicably dived in the opposite direction of an Esteban Cambiasso goal that gave the Nerazzurri a 2-1 victory. The error earned him a hailstorm of criticism from the fans and media, and Cambiasso commented to reporters after the match, "I am not going to make jokes about Dida. We are professionals. It happened that he made a mistake. These things are part of football." His last game was in a 5-2 victory over SSC Napoli on January 13, 2008, after which he aggravated a knee injury during a training session and was dropped for the next match by Ancelotti in favour of Angstrom 1/2 ELJKO Kalak, whose own solid form kept Dida benched for the remainder of the season. His appearance in the Goal for Africa charity match on July 12 would mark his first on-pitch action of any kind in a 6-month span. 2009 Euro 2010 with the return of Abbiati as Milan's first choice for the 2008 Euro 09 Serie A season, Dida was the starter for Milan's UEFA Cup campaign, which ended with their elimination by Werder Bremen on February 27, 2009. He made his season debut on March 15 against Siena after Abbiati was carted off with a serious knee injury in the 13th minute. With Abbiati out for the rest of the year, Ancelotti kept Dida in the starting lineup over Kalak, whose poor outing in a 5-0 Russian Railways Cup thrashing by Chelsea had demoted him to third choice. He made a career-low total of 10 league appearances, though 6 of them ended in clean sheets. Dida was unable to compete for the 2009 Euro 10 starting spot after missing the entire pre-season due to injury, and therefore was benched in favour of Marco Strari, who was serving a second stint with Milan following a loan spell with Fiorentina. However, he would again make his seasonal league debut as an injury substitute, this time on October 18, 2009 in a 2-1 home win over Roma, after Strari was a late scratch due to suffering a thigh strain from a botched attempt of Rina copyright Higuita's famed scorpion kick at the end of Milan's last training session before the game. On October 21, after catching an Esteban Granero shot during his first Champions League appearance of the season against Real Madrid, Dida hurried to move the ball upfield without having complete control of it, causing him to accidentally bounce it off his knee, and Raul immediately pounced on the loose ball and put it into an empty net. His mistake ultimately did not prove costly as Madrid keeper Iker Casillas earned himself on 2 goals that allowed Milan to take the lead and win 3-2. However, on the back of strong league performances thereafter, such as a point-blank stoppage time save from a Pablo Graniche header in a 2-1 victory over Chievo Verona on October 25, and a man-of-the-match effort 3 days later in a 2-2 draw with Napoli that included double and triple saves minutes apart from each other, Dida remained in the starting lineup despite Strari's full recovery and his own excellent form prior to his injury. Strari was consequently loaned to UC Sampdoria on January 15. However, after Abbiati was cleared to resume playing, he and Dida were juggled in and out of the starting lineup by coach Leonardo, who was consequently unable to establish a clear favourite for the number 1 jersey due to both keepers alternating high runs of form. On January 31, Dida missed Milan's 1-1 draw with Livorno after suffering a back strain during pre-game warm-ups, and despite his recovery had been demoted to backup following Abbiati's heroics in a 2-0 win over AS Bari on February 21, though Leonardo denied reports that Dida had been outright dropped as a starter. Nélson has had a great season, and now he's available and a resource. Abbiati's selection is not a given, because I've learned this year that nothing is a given. Milan Vice President Adriano Galliani insisted that a duel between the keepers did not exist, and that it was Leonardo's choice whom to play. He was substituted by Abbiati in the 88th minute on his last match of 2009 Euro 10 season. His contract with Milan expired on June 30, 2010, which made him a free agent. After Milan, Dida stated in December 2011 his desire to play for at least 2 more years, and that some clubs showed interest on offering him a contract. Dida played for AC Milan Glory in a match for disaster aid against Indonesia All-Stars. In this match Dida was deployed as a striker and even scored with a header. Milan won 5-1 with Serginho getting the other 4 goals. In May 2012, he joined Milan's beach soccer team for a tournament to be played at the same month. Portuguesa. On May 24, 2012, Dida signed a contract with Portuguesa that kept him at the Brazilian club until the end of the season, ending a nearly 2-year hiatus away from football following his June 2010 departure from Milan. Grêmio. On December 19, 2012, Dida joined Grêmio on an undisclosed fee and contract duration. Dida played 37 matches for Grêmio in 2013 season but left the club after the season. Internacional. For the following season, 2014, Dida was transferred to Grêmio rival Internacional. Presented on December 26, 2013, he thanked the trust from Colorado side, because his intention was staying in Porto Alegre, and said he does not fear about the rivalry with his former club. According to Dida, the feel is good. It is the first time I ever did this. I do not regret about this. It is a good challenge. I just see it through the positive side. International career. With 91 appearances in 11 years, Dida is Brazil's 3rd highest capped goalie, behind Claudio Taffarel and Gilmar. One of the few Brazilian keepers to be known by a nickname, he made his Canarinho debut at the 1993 Under-21 FIFA World Youth Championship, where Brazil won the championship for a 3rd time. His first cap for the Celia Picavolt Pound came in a 1-0 defeat of Ecuador on July 7, 1995. Dida was the starting keeper for Brazil at the 1996 Summer Olympics, but an error-laden Campeonato Euro, which included a penalty area collision involving Dida and teammate Olara Euro, resulted in defeats to Nigeria and Japan and left them with the bronze medal. He did his part in Brazil's 1999 Copa América Rica victory by conceding only twice in 6 matches, in addition to saving a Roberto Ayala penalty that preserved a 2-1 win over arch-rivals Argentina in the quarter-finals. Dida played 4 out of 5 matches in the 2005 FIFA Confederations Cup, conceding 4 goals and ranking 2nd in total saves behind Mexico's Oswaldo Zarnechez. One memorable moment of the competition was during Brazil's 1-0 group stage loss to Mexico, when he saved a jarred Baghetti spot kick that had to be retaken twice due to repeated player encroachment into the penalty area, which also marked the only penalty save of the competition. Overall, Dida is the most successful player in the history of the Confederations Cup. In addition to being a 2-time winner in 1997 and 2005, he is the competition's all-time leader in caps as well as the only player to participate in 5 consecutive tournaments. FIFA World Cup. For the 1998 World Cup in France, Zagallo lured 1994 World Cup hero Taffarel out of international retirement and back into the number 1 jersey, while Dida was called up as the 3rd-choice keeper behind Taffarel and Carlos Germano. Despite his run of good form with Corinthians at the time of the 2002 World Cup in Korea and Japan, Luis Felipe Scolari, who had replaced Wanderlei Luxemburgo as coach following Brazil's lackluster qualification, named Marcos his number 1. Dida and 3rd-choice keeper Roger Rossoneri never played a minute in Brazil's winning campaign. Despite never playing a match during his brief tenure at Lugano, Dida received a warm reception from the local supporters during Brazil's training sessions in Wegas, Switzerland prior to the start of the 2006 World Cup. Following 14 straight matches on the bench in the past two World Cups, he was chosen as the starting keeper by coach Carlos Alberto Pereira for the finals, which in turn made him the first black keeper to start for Brazil in a World Cup final since Musa Barbosa in 1950, for which he was hailed by Brazilian sports daily Globo Esporte as Dida, o homem que quebrou o tabu. He conceded only 2 goals in 5 matches as Brazil defeated Croatia, Australia, Japan, and Ghana before being eliminated by France in the quarter-finals, a match which saw Brazil manage only 1 shot on goal in the entire contest. Due to his consistent play in goal, Dida was one of few players to avoid the wrath of the Brazilian media and fans after the team's elimination. In addition to his historical World Cup start, he became the first Célia Picavolte-Pound-O goalie to wear the captain's armband since Apermil Merson-Lee-Pound-O in the 1978 World Cup, when incumbent skipper Cafu was rested for Brazil's 4-1 win over Japan on June 22, a match in which Dida was substituted by Senni late in the second half as part of Pereira's plan to play mainly reserves. Brazil's defeat by France ultimately became Dida's swan song. On October 1, 2006, new Brazil coach Dunga announced during a television interview, "Dida told me that the Célia Picavolte-Pound-O is no longer a priority in his career." Despite his World Cup heroics, he was not called up for national team play after the July 2006 inception of Dunga, who had eschewed many of the veterans in favor of a predominantly younger squad for Brazil's post-World Cup matches. He faced a total of 8 penalties in his international career, saving 6 of them. Career statistics. Club as of November 14, 2014. International Honours. References. External links, News Archive and Profile Sky Sports.